50,000 pages, was able to come out categorically and clearly. Because remember, this is a criminal case. And whatever else are you accusing the Marcoses of, it must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. So even one document and even one witness never came out as to prove that the Marcoses did steal the money of the Filipino people. In spite of that, tuloy-tuloy pa rin for the past 36 years, the accusation that nagnakaw sila. And now you hear the chanting. And now you hear the student representative in the Board of Regents of the University of the Philippines, the state university, saying that they are not going to attend classes under a Marcos presidency kasi magnanakaw. Magnanakaw yung anak o galing ang pinanggalingan niya ay ang isang ama na magnanakaw. And yet to this day, the question still begs an answer. What did they steal? What proof do they have that they stole? You have presidential candidates during their campaign accusing them of this. I will not mention the names anymore, but several of them have been exclaiming to our people, ayan, yan ang gusto nyong i-elect into office, mga yung anak ng magnanakaw. So you can imagine how painful this is, how difficult it is. And over the past 3 years, in so many of our episodes, alam niyo, halimbawa, we had one episode, The Truth Survives. And that truth is a lengthy 1-hour discussion of the trial in New York. Alam niyo kung gaano kadami ang nanood niyan? Well, we have a record of those that are viewing it. At dumadami pa ito on a day-to-day basis. But at the time, when we had this program, we had 24,753 people who were watching this. And then we had the part 2 of all of these historical notes. We had 65,000 people viewing this. We had the paper trail. Ayan na naman. Sabi ko nga dun sa trial sa New York, naglabas sila ng isang napakalaking chart, 6 feet by 12 feet, na doon nakalagay yung nakabox, meron silang drawing na kahon na yun ng Swiss accounts. Pagkatapos nilipat yung accounts na yon sa Amerika at yung mga pera na yon ay bumili ng real estate property sa New York. Napakalaki ng kanilang graph na yon. 4 na FBI agent, yung isa talaga na napakaingay pa doon, Agent Trimbach, hindi ko makalimutan yung pangalan niya. Well, we presented that also in this program, and we had something like 24,000 people that watched it. And in part 2 of the continuation of that program, we had 63,665 people watching and listening to what we were trying to express. Hindi po ito an apology, hindi po ito propaganda. This is simply a narrative of what happened in the New York trial. We have the documents, and beyond that, I was there. I listened to the witnesses. I took down notes of what they said. And above everything else, we have a copy of the jury binder, which is what was given. It's a 4-inch thick lot, parang malaking folder yon, na yun ang binigay sa members of the jury para kanilang basahin mabuti sa paglilitis ni Imelda Marcos doon sa New York. And then we had so many other of these episodes. We had one program, for instance, Retribution and Atonement. Ganun kadami, 34,000 ang nanood. And then of course, one important question that we asked, which we have been asking so many times, which to this day, we are asking all of those now gathered, rallying, and all of these candidates accusing the Marcoses. The question of our program and what we discussed for 1 full hour was, where is the money? Alam ba nyo kung gaano kadami ang nakinig dyan at nanood? We had 182,990 people viewing this. Wala naman nagbatikos sa mga sinabi natin. Wala naman nagkontra. Now you have a commissioner of the PCGG coming up with all kinds of statement na nagnakaw dito, that the cronies did this, that some of his friends were accusing Marcos of having stolen. Nasaan ang preba? Why did they not come out with it even then when the trial was going on? Meron pa bang ibang mas matinding korte kesa sa korte sa Amerika? That's the severest court of justice. The Department of Justice itself of the United States of America. All of that, can you imagine? So I listed down many of these episodes. Again, as I've said, this where is the money where we had 182,000 viewers. And then we had several other episodes like the Marcoses and the PCGG. Yan, I mentioned already the PCG. At yan, alam ba niyo kung gaano kadami ang nanood dyan? 137,000 ang nakinig. And then we had, we had Imelda, the mother. I spoke of what she has done for the country. And we had 133,000 people listening. At yung gusto-gusto nila, yung love story ni Marcos at saka ni Imelda, ang dami ding nakinig niyan, ang daming nanood. But I'm going back and forth to all of these episodes we have had in this program, in your program, the Rita GADI Hour. Like for instance, we had explaining the unexplainable. Ito yung talagang pinaka-simple lang. Again, I go back to that question. Ano ba ang ninakaw nila? Ano ba ang prueba nila? What is your proof that he stole money from the Filipino people? You kept on screaming this and shouting this. My friends, my good friends, my relatives, they are all shouting this likewise in accusation. They look at me and they can hardly believe what they're listening to, but that is the way it goes because, as I've said, to steal is a criminal offense, especially if you're going to steal from the Filipino people. And when I spoke of this, there were something like 63,000 people that watched it and listened to it. Ang dami po nito, pati yung mga sinasabi natin na yung connection, the Communist Party and so forth, and then martial law, for instance, we also had a whole program on this. We had 60,000 viewers listening to our discussion on this. And then we had this question, what have they done to the Marcoses? We had 444,000 people listening to us. What have they done to the Marcoses? Kaya kung titingnan ninyo, for the past 36 years, sa lahat ng mga batikos na isinasagawa nila, all the accusations that they now continue to hurl on Ferdinand Marcos Jr., what is it that we spoke of 2 episodes ago? We have a multitude arising. Yan din ang tinanong sa akin ni President Marcos sa Honolulu. When he was given a copy of the video of the rallies of the Marcos loyalists in Luneta, you must remember that the loyalists began the rallies the first Sunday after the Marcoses left the Philippines. And when President Marcos saw the video, he looked at me and asked, sinong mga ito? Saan sila nanggaling? In other words, he himself could not recognize the people that gathered there at Luneta. You know, we have a candidate that keeps on talking about yung kanyang krusada is to go to the poorest of the poor, yung mga nasa sulok ng ating bayan na walang nag-aasikaso sa kanila, yung mga nasa laylayan. My goodness, alam ba ninyo, referring to this candidate, as early as 1986, yung mga laylayan na yan, sila ang nasa Luneta na sumisigaw na at that time, pabalikin si President Marcos sa Pilipinas. That was 1986, 36 years ago. Karamihan ng mga nakikita ninyo sa mga rally, sa mga caravan na sumasama kay Ferdinand Marcos Jr., kay Inday Sara ng Davao, na the big crowd that they have on the streets, walking with them, joining them, and then the big crowds that they have in the rallies. Mga tao yan galing sa laylayan na hindi natin ma-identify na kung sino sila. Kung titingnan natin ang demographics, sino ba yung mga yan? Pinanganak ba sila? Are they 26 to 20 to 41 years old? Hindi pa sila, ilang taon sila? 36 years ago, hindi pa sila pinapanganak. Kung 26 to 41 years old, ang babata pa nito mga ito. Mga apo na ba sila ng mga andoon nung panahon ni President Marcos? Yan, gaano kadami yan? We have 23.9 million of them in that category. Yung tawag nga sa kanila yung mga millennials. Pag-uusapan natin yung mga 42 years old to 57, meron din silang tinatawag na yan ang Generation X. Ilan sila? 16.7 million. Kung titingnan natin yung sumunod na generation, itong mga kabataan ngayon, yung mga 18-year-olds, yung mga ngayon pa lang boboto, up to 25, ilan yan sila? 13 million. Tapos yung panahon namin, halimbawa noon, kung 58 years old up to our age now, antiquity, ilan yan? Mga 11.9 million. Ito na yung tinatawag na yung baby boomers, kung baga, whatever you call them anyway. So kung titingnan natin yung demographics nito, sino ba yung crowd na yan ngayon? Itong rising multitude na sumasama dito sa kampanya at andun sa mga rally ni Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Hindi po ba? Nakikilala ba ninyo? Kagaya ng sinabi ni President Marcos sa Hawaii, nung tumingin sa akin, pinapanood niya yung mga rally sa Luneta noon, 36 years ago. Sabi niya, sino sila? Saan sila nanggaling? Well, to the candidate who keeps on talking about yung mga tao sa laylayan, yan ang mga tao sa laylayan. At ano pang sabi ng mga ibang kandidato? Kailangan siguro turuan itong mga taong ito kasi niloloko sila, nauulol sila. They are being fooled by the lies against, the lies of the Marcoses. Anong lie ang pinag-uusapan nila? Kung kabuluan, kung lahat yan ay, if all of them are lies, it has survived 36 years, my goodness, and the passion and the avid participation of all of this. Now, you could not say that that is because of the lie, or because they're condemning the Marcoses, or because they did not believe. Hindi sila naniwala. At hanggang ngayon, yaan pa rin ang pinagdidikdikan ng lahat nitong mga kandidatong ito and all of those in opposition against the Marcoses. And whatever for. And that is why you have this candidate, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Of all the things that he could pick up as far as a slogan or a rallying cry, that is what he chose. Unification. Magkaisa tayo. Because that is what the Marcoses, their family, has gone through. That is what this young man, I always considered him a young man, sapagkat, ilang taon ba siya noon? 8, 10 years old? Nung umaakyat siya sa hagdanan sa Malacanang, nung ang kanyang ama was elected President of the Republic of the Philippines in 1965 and assumed the office of the presidency in 1966. 36 years ago. Yan siya ngayon, aakyat din sa gusali na yon. Ngunit itong panahon ng 36 years ng kanyang buhay, ng buhay ng kanyang ina, walang ginawa ang mga lumalaban sa kanila at ng opposition. Sinimulan na nung panahon ni Mrs. Aquino. All the anger, the hatred, and the accusations to this day